It's about finding meaning in what you're doing. And then you just happen to make money from what you are doing that makes meaning to you.
I've been waiting my whole life for this one moment.
Welcome to episode 2 of The Story of Success. Hi, my name is Jesse Dan Yusuf. I am the founder and creative director of Fireworks, a creative digital media company based in Abuja that combines storytelling and technology to give meaningful experiences. On this episode of The Story of Success, I interview my friend and brother, Cyrus Agbo. He is the founder of Agbo Studios. He has a wealth of experience. He has worked with a number of digital media companies, and he has, in the past year, he set out himself to start his own creative production outfit called Agbo Studios. He's also the convener of BEAD, which is Beyond a Degree. He's so passionate about education and what young people can do after they graduate. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please let us know. Enjoy.
Welcome to The Story of Success. I'm very excited about today's episode because of who I'm with and because of where I am. I'm with my friend and my brother, Cyrus Agbo, the founder and CEO of Agbo Studios and the convener of Beyond a Degree. As you guys know, I'm already obsessed with stories about everything, and especially about success. So I'm going around interviewing entrepreneurs and creatives and just finding out what success means to them and, what's their definition of success. And also, kind of like documenting their journey towards what they call success. Now, you may hear music in the background. It's because they are setting up for, I think, a party or something at Social Media Week Lagos. So just pardon the music. I'm sure you can hear us clearly. So now Cyrus, he's going to introduce himself and just what prompted him to start Agbo Studios and what prompted him to start Beyond the Degree. So Cyrus.
Okay, thank you very much, Adnarot. I think it's a privilege for you having me here. We go way back, and I think it's amazing to see our journey from where we started, grew up and stuff in the north to where we are now. And we're in the city of Lagos, so it's something to be grateful for. Okay, your question says, what inspired me to start Agbo Studios and Beyond the Degree? I think I would like to start rather from defining what success means to me and what I think is the correct definition of what success is. For me, I think success, because if we're unable to qualify with the meaning of success, it will be difficult to comprehend why we start things and why we stick with things when they are unpopular or where things are hard, right? So for me, I think success is most importantly being able to find meaning in the work that we do, and also while you are finding meaning at that work that you're doing, you are extracting commensurate value from it. Value in this case being money. Do you understand? But the first thing is meaning. And when you find meaning, then you pursue value. You get, if we're unable to constantly find meaning in the work that we do, we will not be able to retain the revenues that we make while at it. And even if we retain it, there's so much we can do. We'll not be able to inspire or aspire for even more. So, for me, success is finding meaning in the work that you do and then being able to extract monetary value from that work while you're at it. So why did we start Agbo Studios? I worked in marketing for like 4 years, going to 5 years. First in PR and then digital, right? And for one of the challenges, and then while in those roles, I functioned as the head of strategy in both cases. And working as the head of strategy, you get to work with agencies, the creative agencies and all. And that's on a professional level. And on a personal level, I've been privileged to live in all parts of Nigeria. I've lived in the north. I was born in the north. I'm from the east. I served in the south, and then I live in the west. So there's so many experiences I have about how the country is. There's so many stories that I had seen. So, and for me, being able to start a business is about connecting the dots, right? So what are the dots that are connected? Number one, working in marketing. A big challenge for me was when working with creative agencies, the creative guys do what they think is cool. They are not able to filter their creativity through what the brand represents, through the brand story, brand value, brand tone of voice, all of that. That's for the marketing people, right? Then the marketing people oftentimes struggle to effectively communicate what their goals were to the language that the creative agencies will understand, right? And then from a personal point of view, all the stories I had seen in Nigeria, one of the biggest problems we have in this nation is that we don't document stuff. So I felt the need to start a company that will tell stories. Our mission in Agon Studios is to help brands inspire audiences to purpose and action using visual content. So these are the things that align together the space, being able to help interpret brands' dreams effectively from a creative standpoint, because we're marketing people first. Well, we say we're marketing people first before we're creative people. So that's the first thing. And then for beyond a degree, summarily, I read biochemistry, right? And I'm doing marketing and content. Not everybody is lucky enough to discover themselves to the point of making that kind of transition. So basically wanted to help bridge the divide between education and industry using advocacy, technology, and tool-based learning. So summarily, yeah.
Okay. Are there people that, you look up to, whether here in Nigeria or in history, or just people doing stuff in the world right now that, man, this person is killing it right now, and you're probably trying to just imbibe some of maybe their characteristics, traits, or culture, and you're obsessed with that, and you want to see yourself do those kind of things too?
Okay. I think I don't want to start like this because it's easy for everybody to just, oh yeah, he's popular. But I would say Elon Musk. Why do I like Elon Musk? Not for the big news, but Elon Musk for what he stands for. He's constantly in the pursuit of hard problems. Do you understand? Yeah. It's unpopular. There was a time somebody asked him, what do you define business as? And he said, starting a business is like falling into a bottomless pit while chewing glass. So you are dealing with external struggles, falling into the bottomless pit, and you're dealing with internal struggles, chewing glass, right? Yet this guy is building. At the same time, he's building electric cars that are refillable along the road. And more recently, he created a company called the Boring Company that is trying to transport cars underground in order to save traffic. These are problems that people run away from because they appear to just be too hard. Right. Yeah, and then Elon Musk. Secondly would be Chude Jidonwo of Red Media Africa. I worked very closely with him, and one of my now favorite statements I learned from him, and which is, we're not afraid to do hard things. He used to say it a lot. And that was the one thing that has become a statement for me. Another person I like is Tara. I like Tara because of what Tara stands for. She took an art and built an industry out of it. The art of makeup, she built industry out of it. So the one thing these three people have in common is the constant pursuit of creating value out of things that seemingly appear to be hard and are actually hard. Yeah. So these three people influence me a lot. Yeah.
Tara, today, Elon Musk. What do you think about Jeff Bezos right now? I don't know, do you follow his story, anything like that?
Well, I like Bezos, right? I like Bezos. To be honest, I'm not very familiar with his story as a person. But I like what he has been able to. There's one thing that these people have in common, right? Constantly looking at certain things and asking, what can this thing be? Jeff Bezos started selling books. And then he has grown into a behemoth. The Amazon is now the go-to place for buying anything, not just books. And there are other services, Amazon web servers, a good number of the websites in the world now on AWS. How do you pivot from selling books into hosting, running web services.
In fact, he's going into healthcare as well. So I know he's providing products for some health stuff.
Exactly. So, yeah, I like what Bezos is. I've not really followed his story very closely. I'm a lot closer to some other people like Peter Thiel. I like Peter Thiel. One of my favorite books, my top 3 books, my number 2 book that has influenced my life the most was written by Peter Thiel, 0 to 1. That is the book, right? My number 1 book is Ben Horowitz, The Hard Things About Hard Things. Those are 2 books that have influenced my life the most. Yeah, but yeah. So, Amazon, I like what he's doing, but most important, I like the thinking.
Okay. This is all nice stuff, pretty stuff, romantic stuff. Do you understand? But entrepreneurship in Nigeria, in Africa, in Nigeria is hard. We know that. I'm sure it's not news to you. What's both of us are running startups. Why should we continue what we are doing? You understand? Like, does Nigeria really need? Personally, I think one of the things that can help shape Africa is entrepreneurship, right? But it's just too hard to be a business owner, to be an entrepreneur. You understand? Like, what do you think about that? What do you think about all of these things? Like, when it comes down to the dirty stuff, like, what entrepreneurship in Nigeria? What goes on in your mind?
I think first I like to address the issue of entrepreneurship in Nigeria. I don't subscribe to that. I think entrepreneurship is hard everywhere. Challenges that they face may be different, but it's hard everywhere. That's the truth. Now, I think for me, and that draws it back to how I started, which is what success means to you. For me, running a business or work, whatever it is about finding meaning in what you're doing. And then you just happen to make money from what you are doing that makes meaning to you. That's what entrepreneurship is about, right? And I think the problem is a lot of people right now, entrepreneurship is cool. You go to Instagram, you see a lot of people say, entrepreneur, CEO of this. I don't use the term CEO. I'm not CEO. I've not gotten to CEO level. Because do you know what it means to be Chief Executive Officer? Do you know the number of tentacles you need to be pulling at the same time? You're responsible for salaries, you're responsible for the direction of the company, you're responsible for to the board of the company. There's just so many layers you're responsible for. And a lot of young people underestimate what is required to run a business. So most people that you put on their Instagram bio, CEO of this, they're mostly living in their homes, living in their parents. The boxers that they're wearing most probably was bought by their parents' money. Do you understand? So if people understand what entrepreneurship truly means, which is the pursuit of creating value for people and solving problems, and then consequently affixing a price tag to that value you're creating, a lot of them will stay in jobs. It's hard everywhere. Do you understand? So the first thing is...
do you think Nigeria needs more entrepreneurs?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that Nigeria requires more entrepreneurs. But then people need to be informed first about what entrepreneurship really is. So you don't enter with high expectations or entering with the pursuit of the cool factor. It's not cool. It's dirty. It's hard. You'll be disappointed. You'll be broke, except maybe you have a trust fund somewhere and there's somebody giving you money or whatever, but it's hard. But the good thing is, if you understand what the true requirements are and you go in understanding that your pursuit is truly about creating value, right? You would stick with it when it gets hard. You stick with it when it gets hard, and most importantly, by sticking with it, you will create the value that will unlock even new opportunities. One of my favorite preachers, T.D. Jakes, was talking once, and he said that God doesn't make furniture. He gives us trees. It is now the entrepreneurs, the people who are willing to stop and look at that mass of stock and leaves, and then they'll lean back and say, what can this be? And out of that constant thought of what can this be, will emerge chairs, will emerge tables, will emerge cup holders, wall cupboards, all sorts of things. So the challenge of entrepreneurship is the constant pursuit of solving new problems, solving problems or new problems, but most importantly, solving either in new ways. You understand? And as long as that's cross people who are constantly willing to go the route, the unpopular route, who are willing to do their things, create new lines of value, our country will go further.
Okay, so I just read, like 2 weeks ago, I finished reading The Story of Success. I mean, Outliers, The Story of Success. Right. Oh. I think it's like part 3 of the book where it talks about a legacy, and how legacies shape successful people. So not just from a sociological perspective, we inherit so much from our forefathers, you understand? Like, how important is that in someone being a success? And have you tried to tap into that? Have you tried to tap into that? Legacies from our forebears, our forefathers. Have you tried to tap into that, into becoming, shaping? Has that shaped you into become? Have you noticed anything like that?
I think, if I understand your question, is about influence. Is it about influence?
Yes, from our forefathers. You understand, like how the legacy or whatever features from our
who are they? No. To be honest, do we? I don't think we have enough examples in Africa to follow. Let me not say Africa, in Nigeria, to follow. If you drill deep, and I think this is something that came, that I like the way LD Didon put up a tweet that absolutely captured it.
Yes, I saw that tweet and it went viral.
It was very apt. Yeah. We don't have, if you drill deep into 2/3 of the success stories we have in Africa, in Nigeria, let me not speak for other countries, in Nigeria, you find out that there was a long line of nepotism. Right? One uncle or one family or one, there's always somebody that knew somebody. A relationship is important in growing business, absolutely. However, if those relationships were not built on the basis of value, rather than on the basis of just connection, I know you, so take. That's why there's no accountability. So do I have influences? Absolutely. Are they Nigerian? Not many. They're actually in fact, most of the people that now we can look up to and say, oh, I want to learn something about business, are in our generation. We mentioned Tara. We mentioned Chude. There are a few of these people. There are people like, there's Mitchell of InterSwitch, right? You have a number of people who have gone. There's the Paystack boys. There's Mark Essien that built hotels.ng. There are a number of people who are pushing the boundaries, right? And they are trying new things. However, a lot of the people who are there before us, unfortunately, don't exactly have a lot of stories to tell us. That's why when you ask them in interviews, how did you succeed? Like LD said, they'll tell you is by the grace of God. What does that mean? How do I take use the word by the grace of God to prepare a business plan? What do I need to know? How do I take by the grace of God into a conversation for negotiation? There's no stepwise process of how to reproduce. First find success and reproduce. So I think that's a challenge for Africa. I think our forefathers didn't get that quite right. They were probably thinking about just survival at the time. And like a friend of mine says, survive is the enemy of thrive. So once all your pursuit is survival, you'll never be able to thrive. But I think that our generation has the opportunity to get it right. Amidst all the people who are pursuing CEO because it's cool, some people will still, amidst all of that, when realization hits them, they will wake up from that pursuit of the cool factor and begin to get it right. And then we can leave a trail that the next generation can follow. You get. We have a few people like Strive Masiyiwa. Yeah. Now, those people are people I look up to because they can tell you in stepwise process, how they got to where they are. There are a few other people like that that I respect. There's and I'm trying to remember the names now, but Strive Masiyiwa is a flagship in that space. He'll tell you his failures, he'll tell you his success, he'll tell you how he will, and if you drill it, you find out the stories are true. So yeah, that's that.
Okay. Okay, I really love Strive, and the ability for him to share, his failures, his successes, and he tells the African success story. Do you understand? You are the convener of Beyond a Degree. You successfully ran one last year, and what is the role of education in entrepreneurship like combining the two? Because they didn't teach us this growing up. Do you understand? So we are learning on the job. Do you understand? So should it be reformed in a way that includes entrepreneurship?
I think I have a problem also with the concept of including entrepreneurship into schools. Entrepreneurship is not something you learn. Entrepreneurship is not a standalone course. It's a composite of many skills. Many things come together into informing the thinking of an entrepreneur. There's knowledge of business finance. There's negotiation. There's personal relationships. There's teachings on integrity, long term. A lot of the problems we have in this country, if you drill deep, they were because most of the people who instituted them probably didn't even know the long-term effects of those actions. Because we're not taught how to forecasting, that's the technical term. All these things are in different fields of knowledge, but they come together. So I think that, now about your question about what's the role of education in entrepreneurship, I think it's huge. I watched a documentary, not a documentary, it was a talk by Tim Cook. Tim Cook was asked the question in an event, why is it that Apple, which is one of the most American brands, why does Apple manufacture in China? In fact, it has become a joke now in America that even the American dream is made in China. Tim Cook, in a very unbiased manner, answered it shockingly. He said that we manufacture in China not because, it's a nice to have, and it's not because of the popular opinion that people say, because of the numbers, they have a workforce. No. He said China is not about the number of people, it's about the quality of the skill. It's not about the number of the skill, the amount of the skill, it's about the quality of the skill. That the Chinese system, the education system, has prioritized technical education from the onset. And this is dating 50 years back. So as of 50 years ago, the Chinese education system prioritized technical education. Children were taught and institutionalized, as in technical skills is institutionalized. So he gave an example that if you call in America, you say you want to do a meeting of product specialists, for example, you probably will not be able to fill the room. But in China, if you call a meeting of product design specialists, you fill 2 football fields. You fill up 2 football fields in China. So that is the issue, right? And that is, according to him, from the start. In Nigeria, technical education is low budget. They are considered, they are third-class individuals. They are not people that you want to take seriously.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, and then it's BA holders that are considered gods, even though it doesn't amount for anything these days. So the system, even in America, I think I've forgotten what the rate of education in America is, but it exceeds 25%, I think, right? Because they understand the impact of distilling this thing to the granular level. We still do maths and English. We still do board maths in Nigeria. What is the industry application of board maths? What is it? Do you know? So, education is an intrinsic, and not just education for education's sake. The design of the educational system has to be reviewed with industry in view. If not, we'll keep churning out people who will spend the first 4 years of their lives learning how to walk rather than walking.
Okay, I just have 2 more questions for you, then we're done. What 3 events, has shaped you to the man you are right now and the man you are becoming?
3 events.
Failure.
Oh, okay. 3 moments.
3 moments in your life.
I think I can't put a date to it, but I think one moment that hits me would be the day I realized that nobody's special, that I'm not special. It was a painful realization because I always thought I was. But then the more I researched into the lives of successful people, I realized that we are not born special. We are made special by what we do. Do you understand? And also a consequence of the confident discovery is that lie that people say, you know, it's not what you do that counts, it's who you are that matters. It's a lie. Who you are is defined by what you do. So yes, number one was the day I discovered I was not special, that nobody is. We're only special by what we do, right? The second thing would be, I think what was the second event? 3 events. I think it will be the day I realized that, I think it was after reading The Hard Things About Hard Things, that book, I realized that the only way to rise to relevance is if you are in the constant pursuit of hard things. That's the only way. The people who, from Walt Disney to Steve Jobs, you find that if you drill deep, there were people who had very deep personal struggles because they chose to pursue hard problems. So after reading The Hard Thing About Hard Things by Ben Horowitz, that book, it was a combination of, because I read The Hard Things About Hard Things right after reading 0 to 1. So I was in shock, right? And then third thing is, I would say my event that shaped me in the man who I am, I think my relationship with my fiance, who is soon to become my wife. I think it's important. Because it's important who we spend the time of our lives with. The people who we choose as life partners, they shape in us a lot. And I've become, being in relationship with the person, with my partner, my fiance has helped me put a lot of things in perspective. You know that it's important to have that it's possible to win on every point. I think that's the summary. Being in that relationship has taught me that you don't have to sacrifice family for work. And you don't have to sacrifice work for family. You can win on both sides. It requires a lot more discipline. It requires a lot more time management. But you can have it all. Yeah, so 3 moments.
So, last three things you want to leave with someone that is looking to start, what will you tell the person? Just 3 things.
Number 1, it's not glorious. Forget the Instagram likes. It's a tough world we live out here, Number 2, I would say, please do what you love, because it's going to get hard. And the only thing that will keep you when it gets hard is that you love what you're doing, And then the third thing is my favorite shoe brand, which is Nike. Just do it. Just do it. Gary Vaynerchuk posted something, and I sent him a message saying, "Thank you, sir, for this." He said, "Quality is subjective." Do you understand? And it is open to interpretation. Just keep putting out content. Just keep putting out there, and keep improving. As you keep doing it, you'll get better. So yeah.
All right, thank you. This is the end of the podcast, The Story of Success with Cyrus. Agbo, my brother, the founder and CEO of Agon Studios and the Convener Beyond a Degree. I'm really looking forward to 10, 20, 50 years. You and I, we are looking back and we are like, look at what we've built. Thank you, bro. God bless. Yeah.
Shout out to Young and Fireworks. You guys are doing an amazing job, and yeah, looking forward to what we built.
All right.